Welcome to the Kendy and Raybo podcast, episode 87, recorded in Kendy's box room.
So this is weird. All I can see is you. So I don't.
Well, all I can see is the view from what I can only imagine your speedometer in your car sees. You're just...
You know, it's like one of those things, Ray, where you know when someone puts headphones on, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is we're back on Zoom here, right? Because this fucking lockdown. I can't see myself now because I'm watching to make sure that we're recording the audio okay, Ray. So all I can see is your face. I'm not looking at the Zoom meeting from myself like it is a FaceTime. But so it's kind of like I don't know what I look like with you know when you tell someone put on a pair of headphones, right, to listen to a song, and if it's too loud, they put the headphones on and then all you hear is people don't know how fucking loud they're breathing when they put headphones on. Did you ever notice that?
No, I just didn't think of it.
I was setting up for the live stream here that I did the wee gig I did on Facebook, right? And I was saying to Nicola, when you just come in here and make sure that the camera's working all right or whatever, and I had my in-ears in. And she said, "Will you stop fucking breathing like you have asthma?" I was like, because you don't fucking know when you've got headphones on. So I don't know what I look like now.
I'm there now.
Ray, I lost you there for a second. Hang on, my internet connection is unstable. We'll wait for it to stabilise itself again, Ray.
Right.
Here's the crack, Ray. So you said, look, we're back. I don't need this Zoom thing anymore. We haven't done a quiz in 3 months. And you cancelled your Zoom.
I did.
About a week later.
Level 5.
Yeah, Mihal Marcin comes out the door and he says, "Ray, you may get that Zoom again."
I thought it was very funny though. Tony Houlihan, the chief medical officer, he wasn't even back a day in the job.
Yeah.
He came back the day before he was supposed to come back.
Yeah.
And he instantly said, "That's it, lock it down."
Well, it's kind of like if your parents ever went away on holidays and you were left at home, like, and the house was in Shahi. Houlihan walked in and he said, "The state of this place." You had a party, I know well, and the government was saying we didn't have a party, Tony. You fucking did.
We had a party.
You let half of the people in, I know well you did.
We had such a party.
And he was saying, right, Sid, he said, "You're grounded."
So now we're back on Zoom, basically.
And now we're all back on Zoom because of it.
Yeah.
Now,
when do you think them shagging quizzes is going to start again?
Do you think people will go back to the quiz, Ray?
Saturday night and Sunday night, because this is, by the way, this is Bank Holiday Monday of the Bank Holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Both Saturday night and Sunday night, I had an eye on the phone. You know, the suspicious eye. I was going,
we can't
I guarantee
go on together with suspicious eyes. Yeah, go on.
I could see the text message coming in going, "Lads, there's anything we said for another quiz."
I think we've developed a little bit from the quizzes in terms of buys. Now, Ray, if there's one thing that we know, it's buys. And buys are buys, and fair play to buys, right? The quizzes was good enough for a couple of months, Ray.
Right.
Fair play to it. But, having said that, I was chatting to young Cahill Mulhern, right?
Right.
Says he to me, "We used to do a wee drop of the pokers, in the middle of the quizzes." I said, "Yeah, ignorant." I said, "I never got a drop of a lick of a game of poker." So what we're going to move from now is the quizzes onto the poker, and everyone's going to become gambling addicts. And what will happen is we'll all sign up for those online poker things, and then we'll all try and buy a house in 5 years. And they'll say, "Come here, in October 2020, you spent 46 grand on online poker. What's the story with that?" That's where I'm going, Ray, with this.
No, wait a minute.
Go on.
Actually, now that you mentioned, my first thoughts on what you've just suggested there is no feckin' way. Because I don't know how to play poker, and I'm wasting time in it.
We'll play strip poker, Ray. We'll get your little laddie out. Come on.
No, it's cold. No, but come here, you have to give me an idea. Because
right, okay.
And I know it's awful early to be talking about it, but the Halloween is pretty much nearly over at this point.
Yeah, I think we blew the head gasket out of Halloween already. There's fireworks going off here every night. Anyway, go on.
I'd like to ask you.
Go on.
Is there a limit in your house for Christmas presents?
Oh, okay. That's, I don't know why you're asking, but
for your marvelous mistress, Nicola.
Mistress?
Your fiancé. Your fiancé, Nicola.
Sounds like I'm riding her in an alley. Come here.
You called her that. Huh? That's what you called her when she was cooking the dinner one day.
Me mistress.
Our marvelous mistresses are downstairs cooking the dinner.
I don't remember half the stuff I said. Anyway, There is certainly a limit this year because we're getting married next year.
Fair enough. What's the limit? Or that's personal now. You don't have to tell me.
No, listen, it's not that personal, I'll tell you, because I don't mind people knowing, obviously. Obviously, things are very tight nowadays, Ray, in terms of COVID. No, stop, please, Ray.
Go on.
Please, no. Things are very tight, obviously, in the Kendy household because of the COVID crack, you know, and losing work. And obviously getting married next year, it's been quite strenuous on us. So we're keeping it at 10 grand this year instead.
Oh, that's very...
It used to be 25, but we said no. We said cut it down.
That is tight.
What's your point anyway? Go on.
My point is, when you set a limit, right? Because that has been discussed. Self and Laura now discussed the limit for Christmas. And the limit was set at €100.
It's always the limit now, isn't it? Nowadays?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 50, it tends to be 50. It was 50 in the family, but nobody was respecting it. Everybody was spending more. We do Chris Kindle, or whatever you call it, in the family. And because it's handy, because it's 6 of us, so it all works out lovely. No one's left out. But it was 50 and no one was respecting it, so it went up to 100. So now 100 came to mind then when myself and Laura were talking about the Christmas presents. And I was thinking to myself, Jesus, a box of Joe Malone on its own, it cost over €100.
Oh, sure, it's a disgrace to smell it. The price of that smelling
price
stuff.
of smell.
The price of smell.
That's your name anyway. Episode 80. What are we? 86 is it?
87, is it? No,
is it 87? Whatever episode it is anyway. The price of smell.
Smell.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I was trying to think of, and we have to stick to it as well.
Get
so
the Britney Spears stuff.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
The Britney Spears stuff is Britney Spears and David Beckham around Christmas time. They're the ones that bring out the two cheap yokes that teenagers get for their missuses. I bought Nicola about 10 different things of Britney Spears schmelly stuff. It's about 20 quid.
Anyway, €100. I said to myself, I'm going to be able to get feck all with that. It's difficult to buy the presents at €100.
Absolutely.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So I had the thought of how I was going to get around the €100 limit.
Okay.
I was going to get on to our friend Vesco. Do you know Vesco?
I do know. Vesco used to look after me, man. Remember when you used to be allowed to go out? Vesco be looking after me abroad in Fiddlers.
Vesco was a man in Fiddlers that look after Kendy, and me for that matter. But Vesco anyway has a great way of winning on the horses and the bets and everything. That man is a genius. If you want a few pound, give Vesco a shout, and I will give the phone number in the credits at the end. But Vesco will sort of write out with
an investment.
If you like an investment. It's actually an investment. Sexually,
investment.
He's essentially an investment manager.
An Invesco, yeah.
But I was going to give Vesco, we'll say,
100 quid.
The €100 was the limit. I gave it to Vesco. Vesco put it on such and such a horse.
Yeah.
The horse won. I'm after getting €809 off the win. And I spent the €809 on loads of class presents for you, and I didn't break the rules because I only spent €100.
Your investment in the relationship was 100 quid, which is exactly what she had agreed.
We don't have to see. There's a grey area there. We don't have to talk about the €800 or €900 I lost. Run up to it.
Yeah. She said, "Come on." She said, "Ray, I'm delighted. Come on, and we go back to the house." You're saying, "I don't have one. I don't have one anymore."
House, that's true.
I have no house anymore.
Should we go for a spin? No, I have no car either.
Well, Ray, we're talking in our family now about the whole. For the first time ever, we're going to do the Chris Pringles or whatever his name is. You know that fella?
Fair play to Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do Chris Pringles for the first time ever in the house, and we have set our limit at 100 quid, and so I'm talking about the Kendy household now.
Yes, of course.
But
not my household. Why would you buy in my household?
Because the pandemic has walloped 3 young fellas inside in that house.
Sure.
So we're doing the 100 quid thing. But we have a sister who's running America right now as we speak abroad in Boston.
That's right.
And she's wiping her arse with $50 notes, right? So we told her, we said, Elder, I know we're spending a ton, but you know, you can spend what you want. Like, so everyone's hoping to get her.
That's class.
Whereas in fairness now, Eddie, this doesn't apply to you, like, you know.
But that's what I was thinking when you mentioned there the poker. Like, I don't know how to play poker, but feck it. If it means that I don't have to go to Vesco and spend a pile of money in Vesco, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, look, let's do it so, Ray.
Right.
Let's have a wee game of poker between a few of us, and I'm going to riddle you of everything you have, man. And Laura will have a shy Christmas to be a shy Christmas in the Laura household this year.
Fair enough.
But come here.
Anyway.
So this is the crack. Obviously, everyone knows we're locked down, Ray, again, for another 6
don't
weeks.
like it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels very different than the first time that we were locked down, I think, because the first time we were locked down, there was very much that thing of, you know, High School Musical. We're all in this together. Fair play to us. But this time it feels a wee bit different, doesn't it?
Well, now, when I say I don't like it, I don't like the fact that we have to do these on Zoom.
Yeah, that's
the bit I don't like.
Yeah, that's
hard. The other bit of lockdown, nothing changes for me.
Yeah,
It's all
you're
gone.
still. So you've
I'm
never.
still at work.
Yeah, you're still at work anyway, regardless of that. Like,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, not a whole pile has changed for me either. I don't mind the whole having to sit inside thing. It's not the biggest deal in the
And
world. Like,
this is probably a big thing for you, because you were a couple of weeks there quarantining yourself.
I know. So I went straight from 2 weeks of a quarantine straight into a lockdown.
At the last episode, we spoke about your how would you put it? Your brush with the contact tracers.
Yes.
Now, we have a couple of corrections there. I did possibly say in that episode that it was redeployed civil servants.
Yeah.
Now, I was reliably informed by my good colleague and writer for this show, Alan I'm Almost Done.
Right.
He told me that I was factually incorrect, as all the redeployed civil servants had actually been redeployed back to their native departments. And the army was running it now.
Oh, lovely. So there was a
And
fellow
that
with an
was-
AK-47 on the other end of the phone with me. Have you had a COVID, Kendy? Tell me now. I'll blow the head shagging off you.
But come here, Jaxie. There was a development to that. You didn't just go once. You went twice.
No. Do you want me to tell the second story as well then?
Well, you should do a little bit of it, yeah.
First of all, let it be said that Kendy said this a good 3 weeks ago, which means that it happened a good 4 weeks ago. And it has all come to light now. If you look up the RTE news and all that, it turns out that no one was talking to anyone and Kendy was dead right all along.
They actually got to the point where they said, look, trace yourselves.
Yeah, they said, you may trace away, lads. We haven't shagging time now to be tracing you. The second there was any pressure put on them, they said, oh, we can't be doing this. Abroad in England, Ray, today, I heard one of the health minister gentlemen, he said there's a lot of pressure on the system over in England now, and that's why we can't contract trace. He said when the numbers are pure low, this system works perfect.
Yeah.
And I feel like saying, yeah, you mean when there's no COVID? Like,
yeah.
So when there's no COVID around, this system's actually brilliant. Like, and it's the exact same thing that's happening over here. What happened was, right, Kendy spends his week in the quarantines, right? That is not an island off the coast of fucking Jamaica. I wish it was. I was in the quarantines. I took a boat from the Maldives, and I got out then on that Sunday, obviously, that me and you then recorded this last episode, where I got ferociously vexed and told everyone of how annoyed I was at the contact tracing system, Ray.
Yeah.
Isn't that fact
pretty
so
much,
far?
You called out the army, effectively.
I didn't know. We called out civil servants.
We didn't know it at the time.
Turned out we were called out the army.
Yeah, okay.
So then what happens is I get out then, right? And we are made aware that on Wednesday, the pubs are going to be shutting again. So this is a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. The pubs are going to be shutting on Wednesday, lads. I was about to go in and do another gig in Lily's on the Monday night that I was out of the quarantines.
Yeah.
Lily's ring me and say, Kendy, do you remember before you went into quarantine, you were in here with us? I says, I do, lads. Says them, the table right beside you tested positive for the COVID. You're going to be getting a call from contact tracers tomorrow.
Again.
And I said, and they said, do you know really what happens? I have a fair idea what happens, says I. Yeah. You end up getting 40 calls, no one gets anything done. Anyway, I get a call the next day from a lovely lady who actually, in fairness to her, was lovely. And she says, Kendy, how are things by? I said, how you keeping, lovey? How are things with you? She said, not too bad. Says I, that's good. Says she, you're going to have to go into a wee quarantine. Says I'm only out one about 18 hours.
You were only out in bail.
I was only let out day release job. And so she says, look, I don't want to have to do this. I know you just tested negative a couple of days ago. I'm going to have to test you again. And I said, even though, both cases were around the same time and I've already tested negative, she said, Kendy, I'm going to have to test you again, lovey. Says I, do you know what? I'm going to wash me loves of it. That is no bother at all. Let's go with it. Kendy goes back into lockdown again, back into the tracksuit, wearing them to bed, wearing them up in the morning, not changing his jacks, right? Now, says Nicola to Kendy, we're not doing that again. I said, we won't be doing that again, Nicola, right? And I know why, because I will not be ringing them 50 times again and stressing out like I did last week.
You just said you'd sit in your tracksuit bottoms and do nothing.
Yeah, so this is from Tuesday, and then all the way up until Friday, I did not get in contact with them, and they did not get in contact with me again to book a test, Raybo.
Right.
Isn't that
you didn't get another test?
I didn't. So then Nicola got fed up of me saying, I don't give a shit, Nick. Let them do what they want. If they want to test me, Nicola, they'll come and test me. Yeah. And so she rang them and said, come here. Me fella here is waiting on another test. And they said, Jesus, is he? Right? So they ring me back Saturday morning again, right? And they say, come here, will you remind me who you are again? Like, I was like, for fuck. Mark Kendy, how are you going? Superstar here in Sligo. Everyone knows me. How are things?
Yeah.
They say, just remind me of your case again. Like, I had to explain the whole case to them again. And she says, so you already had a negative test last week? Yeah. I said, I'm supposed to be out of lockdown again tomorrow. Like, is my last day of it. Like, she was like, we probably won't test you then. You're probably all right then, I'd say. And I was like, for fuck's sake, 5 days of waiting. Your one was adamant I had to take a second test. I got on to Fadula, and then Fadula saying, don't be listening to fucking Maggie. Don't waste the time, that woman. And they didn't test me again, Ray, and I got out of me quarantine then the next day.
Yeah.
It comes to light then about 3 days later that the whole system is in shite. You sent me an article to say it.
I did.
You sent me an article to say, Kendy, I think I might have got to the bottom of what's wrong with your cases. But we've heard loads of those kind of stories, though, Ray. The whole thing fell asunder.
Isn't it funny, though? So you, in the last few days of freedom that you had, you spent it in lockdown, and then all of a sudden, Tony got his way then and closed the whole country down.
Yeah, I went out then, I rubbed my eyes, Ray, on the way out the door to say, freedom, fucking Willie Wallace job, or whatever your man's name was, Mel Gibson. And Tony Houlihan was standing outside my door and he said, get back into that fucking house, Kenty. I haven't time for you now.
How's it going, folks? Trying to get back into the house.
He said, how's it going? Everyone rushing out, folks. Trying to get back into your houses again there, folks, for 6 weeks. Because we can't handle the pressure of all ye having COVID. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Did you hear Micheál Martin, Ray, when he gave the speech? I thought he was very articulate. I thought he was brilliant. I thought when he said, some of ye out there now aren't sticking to the rules and we need ye once again to do what we want ye to do. And I felt like saying, did we not fucking do that already?
We did.
I felt like saying, Jesus Christ, did we not do it already? And what I heard, Ray, was that...
But he said some of ye.
He said some of ye.
I wasn't talking to you.
I know he wasn't talking to Kendy. Because I've been doing my bit, right? And of course there is some of us, there is loads of us out there, Ray, that aren't doing our bit, we'll say. Let's say that, right? I think there's also a government there that aren't doing their bit either because they have a contact tracing system that doesn't work. There doesn't seem to be any more beds or nurses or hospitals or anything like that in place. The second that we actually got a load of cases again, which we knew was going to happen, they told us in March, we need you to lock down, lads, for 2 months. And I'm telling you, do it now because we need to get ready for this fucking winter flu, lads. Because every one of you are going to get this winter flu. We need time to get ourselves ready. We said, no bother at all. We'll go on Zoom quizzes for 3 months. Don't even worry about it. It's handy enough. Kendy will drink wine every night with me, livers in bits, right? And then we open back up again. And then the second the cases rose, they said, come here, it turns out we're actually not ready for the winter that we asked you to lock down for already. And we're going to need you to do it again. Dr. Ciara Kelly, who is on News Talk every single morning, she said if you're going to lock people down, don't lock them down to reduce the numbers, lock them down to get your house in order. And the government's house is in shit. And Tony Houlihan walked back after they had a party and the whole lot's in shit.
Anyway, that's pretty much the update there from Kendy. He's no less bitter than he was the last time you heard from him in episode 86.
And way worse than that again. Way worse than that again. Do you know what they're trying to do now? They're trying to kill the middle aisles in Aldi and Lidl.
Right.
They're trying to do away with them, Ray.
Well, sure, they're non-essential.
Now, but listen to me, that's it. Is that not? I mean, the death of the middle aisle in Aldi and Lidl, Ray, is the death of this country.
I don't think so. I think for once in my life, I'll be able to go down to get a loaf of bread and a couple of bananas, and I'll be able to come out, loaf of bread and a couple of bananas, and not a fucking ride-on lawnmower.
Yeah, not a ride-on lawnmower, and a fake Ireland rugby hoodie, and a tool set. But did you see that? They're going to try, because I saw they've done it in Wales, Ray. They're going to try and, let's say Kendy and Nick, they're there chipping down Super Value, right? And we're in there, we're getting our few bits and pieces, and I say, Nicola, look at that toy tractor. I would love to play with that broom inside in my front room.
Right.
And I go to buy it, and they say, excuse me now, you can't be buying that during a pandemic.
That's right.
Why?
But your socks are non-essential.
Tesco in Wales, they covered up the sanitary pads. There'll be young ones the place will be destroyed. The place will be in bits. They said, no, you can't be buying that stuff during the lockdown.
Right.
Huh? The house would be red raw, for fuck's sake. But I don't get it. I don't get why you have to cover up certain stuff if you're in the shop anyway buying around. And I'm not saying, I get that some people said, well, we're selling high-vises now and face masks. So all of a sudden Zara down the town is open again and you can go in and buy a fucking dress. You know, I get that, like. But
no, they've clamped down on that now.
Yeah, I know that. I get that. You shouldn't be. Yeah. Obviously, if you're a retail, like a clothes place or whatever, you know, and you're selling clothes, you can't just go in and throw a high-vis in the front fucking window, which I don't think anyone's doing anyway. But you can't just go throw a high-vis inside in the front window and a few face masks and say, come on in and buy your Diesel and your Chanel and all that kind of stuff. But I don't get the fact that they're going to be covering stuff up in supermarkets, like.
Should they have to?
What do you mean they have to?
Level playing field.
Do you know what, actually? I think there already is kind of a level playing field, like, because people are selling all their stuff online anyway, Ray, now.
That's right.
Yeah, have you noticed that? But, like, why would you go blocking off shelves in a fucking supermarket saying, Kendy, don't be buying that toy trucks,
Well,
Ray. They're my
okay.
favourites.
The reason I would see it as if they close off the toy truck stand.
Yeah, I'm vexed now already after you
say
that.
Dunn Stores have a toy truck stand.
Yeah.
And they're the nicest toy trucks.
Yeah.
But down the road from Dunn Stores, there is a little shop called Toy Trucks Are Us. Yeah. And they specialise in toy trucks.
That's a class shop as well, man.
I know, you're loving all this.
What a shop.
So what happens is non-essential anyway comes in and toy trucks are non-essential.
Yeah.
Right? So Toy Trucks Are Us, that's an awful mouthful of a shop. Toy Trucks Are Us Limited have to close the shop, right? Mm-hmm. Brian and his wife Imelda have to shut the shop down, right?
Okay.
So Brian and Imelda are heartbroken. They can't sell a single toy truck.
It's such a niche market, like, but they do well for themselves.
They've been in business now 30 years, and it's such a niche market, but everybody loves a good toy truck. But then Dunn Stewart's them with their toy truck stand, where they ordered them all in from China, right? They can't be selling them away, because that would be an absolute insult to Brian and Imelda down in Toy Trucks Are Us.
Yeah, I get that. That's exactly. I get that.
And that's why Dunn Stewart's have to take.
But also, Smiths are doing click and collect anyway, so no one. I'm sure. What's their man's name? Ryan and Imelda. Is it?
You don't want to talk to Brian and Imelda about Smiths.
Oh, they're Jesus, those big conglomerate bastards, right? I get it, Ray, but it seems like It seems like a bit of overkill. Like, for fuck's sake, let Kendy buy a toy truck. Like, Jesus
I feel
Christ.
very attached to Brian and Imelda now all of a sudden. I love the way we've just invented just this lovely couple and that lovely little shop and
Ray,
so many nice toy trucks. Sorry, go on.
Ray, for anyone who's not from Sligo that listens to our podcast, I would love if they thought that there was a fellow called Brian Imelda and there was a toy truck store in Sligo. Can you imagine, like, if there was a family at home and they're going, what the hell are we going to get the young fella for Christmas? Like, and he goes, I was listening to Kendy and Raybo, actually, and there's supposed to be a savage shop in Sligo. Toy Trucks Are Us.
But it's closed at the minute, but they'll be back open in December.
Too, but you can go into Duns and get another one anyway if you wanted it. Like, no bother at all.
Because it's closed off and you won't get one in the middle of Aldi either. Anyway, that's lockdown. I have things to talk to you about.
Ray, before we go any further, can I tell you one story that happened? Kevin and Denise, right, got married on Saturday in Sligo. I want to give a big old sexy shout out to them. Right. Tremendous people, right? Mm-hmm. I was sitting down watching the Irish rugby game on Saturday. I get a phone call to say, look, there's a wedding of 25, which is perfectly allowed.
It was, yeah.
There's a wedding of 25, Kendy. Will you dust off the guitar and bring it down because the musician who was supposed to do it can't do it?
Get away.
I said, let me just check my diary. Yeah, I'm free till 2023, so I should be able to come down there in the next hour or so. So I land in, right, face mask on, down the back of the place, away from everyone where they're going to be sitting and enjoying their night from a good social distance.
Yes.
The groom says, are you Mark Kendy? Says I, Jesus, I am. Says he, I listen to the podcast all the time. He said, what? He said, I didn't know it was going to be you that was filling in tonight. So I wanted, just before we go, what a great wedding it was, by the way. It was unreal.
Well, of course, you were playing at it.
I know, I was driving it on and they were getting up and dancing. I was saying, will ye sit down, will ye? That didn't happen at all. I was going to blame them for getting up and dancing because Kendy's so good that they couldn't help it. I better not do that, we'll get in trouble. Anyway, I did it. It was an unbelievable night and it's great to see the weddings are happening now and people are enjoying their nights as they should be. And a big shout out to Denise and Kevin. We love you very much. The best luck with the rest of your Jesus lives. Ray, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, and how did it feel playing a wedding?
It was weird. It's the first wedding I've done since March. It was the first wedding I've done without a full band behind me and a set list that we have played 500,000 times, literally down to every joke. We start off with how's it going, fucks? Let's get you up on some fort. None of that. I sat in the corner and I said, shout up a song if you want to hear it. I've never done that at a wedding before. And it was just great crack.
Because you'd normally go like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, we just bang out 2 hours of stuff. No
teas and coffees.
Yeah,
bang, bang,
teas
bang,
and
bang,
coffees, and then straight back in again then, and bang out then, and then I'm halfway home before I even know what's going on, right?
How did you find doing a wedding where you let things kind of go loosey-goosey?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It just felt like, all right, I'll sit here and you'll have a bit of crack sitting down there drinking your pints, and this is going to be, and it was great night. An absolutely great night, and they enjoyed it. It was in an absolutely wonderful spot right outside Sligo called the Juniper Barn.
The what?
Juniper Barn. It's run by Chris and Dorothy. Ray, who knew? I hadn't a clue. I'll tell you exactly where it is, right? I want you to picture the smallest road you've ever been on. Just imagine the smallest road. It was on that road. And that road was in behind 4 other small roads. And I'm lucky the sat nav even brought me there. It is in the back arse of Ballymote.
Right.
And Ballymote is in the back arse of Sligo. So it was in the back arse of the back arse.
Was it a class wee spot? I never heard of it.
It was unbelievable. This wee barn they've done up, it used to be sheep shite and cows. Right? There ain't no sheep shite in there now, Ray. She pristine by. There's about 5 barns there.
We're going to have to get a wee plug now or from something from them now. And you might get an old discount on the wedding if you go switching it.
No. A big shout out to Castle Dargan there. We're going switching the wedding.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
I'd say it was low. You know the way a wedding band these days costs in the region of $2,000 or so.
Yeah.
You were doing. Yeah. I'd say you were happy enough walking out of there with $2,000 in your pocket from one man show.
No, Ray, because that's not right. Because obviously, because it was just me on my own, I felt really bad, and I said, lads, I'm not obviously going to charge you the $2,000 that wedding bands charge. I said, give me 1,800, and
I knew you'd go 1,800. You're a decent skin, Mark Kennedy. You are a decent skin.
I said, look, I'm only, it was handy enough for me to come down here. There's only a few of you. 1,800 will do the finest. And they said, no,
as well?
Huh? I did. I DJ'd for 2 songs afterwards, yeah. I played Starships Are Meant to Fly.
Yeah,
and then I played Get Lucky. And then I said, good night, folks. And I packed up the guitar and put it into the Skoda and I drove home with 1,800 quid in my pocket. So if you want to book Kendy for the one-man wedding, it turns out I'm doing them now. Obviously, for that couple, because of the circumstances, and it was my first one-man wedding gig, I did it for 1,800. It is going to be 2,500 from now on.
Plus VAT.
Plus VAT as well, then 23%.
Because you'll have to register for VAT if you're getting a scatter of those kind of weddings in 2021.
Yeah, so look, get in and book them.
Marvelous.
You'll get a good night. 3 hours of music.
I'm delighted you've got into it.
3 hours of music with a 2-hour break in between.
Yeah.
And it's a tremendous night, honest to God.
That's a marvellous little piece now. Fair play to the two of them for getting married and having one of the best wedding bands they could possibly ask for.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, have you any other items before I tear into my agenda?
I don't know. It'll come to me. Don't worry about it. Tear into your agenda.
Marvelous.
I just wanted to get that out before we forgot about it. Go on anyway.
You rescued a mermaid.
Oh, sweet. I could suffer it, Jesus.
I was told, it was reports that you were spotted on Ross's Point Strand, and that you came to the aid of a mermaid that had been washed up on the shore.
That may or may not be true. All I will say is that it's true. That is.
Right. And there happened to be photographers and some videographers present to capture this moment. Can I ask you, Kendy, were you just out for your morning stroll and the mermaid just washed up on the shore?
Well, yeah, I was out for the morning rock and roll stroll. And says, Jesus Christ, will you look at the blue-haired yolk inside in the water? I said, it must be a liberal feminist. Anyway, so...
Yes, indeed. So,
upon closer inspection, Ray, it was a full mermaid. She had the full get-up. She hadn't a leg to her name, only a fin.
Yeah.
She had the wee polka dot bralette on. Says, I better get involved in this, says I.
Yeah, and you saved her, did you? Or did you throw her back in?
Here's the thing, lads. This was a photo shoot that was done before all this crack. This was all allowed. This is what you have to say nowadays, Ray. Isn't it terrible? I do be watching YouTube videos and people have on their YouTube video filmed before COVID so that people don't be slating them. Anyway, I was doing a photo shoot for a wonderful photographer in town called Kat Bonner. Ray, I'm a model now, like.
Yeah, we are now, yeah. And this came out of now, and we'd have to take a little small bit of a what would you call it, a detour here. This came out of your massive appearance at the Culture Night. Which was again before the lockdown. Culture Night there was back in September, and you played a myriad of characters.
Yes, I played all of them. So listen, I mean, I don't know exactly how the dialogue or how the situation played out. All I can imagine is, I mean, I'm just spitballing here. It only makes sense that this is what happened. Yeah. I acted out about 10 roles at the Sligo Culture Night on the streets of Sligo. Yeah. Everyone was...
Sean Person all involved.
Sean Person all involved, fair play to them. Everyone said, Jesus, that Kendy fella is it, like.
Obviously, this particular lady, photographer, she spotted you and she thought you had talent.
Yeah, amongst the crowd of everyone else. Some of them were in tears, Ray. I saw some of the crowd say, oh...
Yeah.
She was amongst them all, gobsmacked, just pointing at me going, yeah, that's the fella. That's the one. Her name is Kat Bonner, and she said, Kendy, I don't even know what I'm filming yet. I don't know what it is, but you have it and I need you.
Yeah.
Right?
So this involved a mermaid washing up on Ross's Point Strand.
She says to me, I have a mermaid there ready to go, which is Caitlin said I have
No. She didn't tell you that, though, because you didn't know. You went down to this thing not expecting to see a mermaid washing up, did you not?
To be honest, I wasn't fully aware of everything that was going to be going on.
Class.
I was told, we're doing a photo shoot. It's cool. They said it's going to be about the environment. I said,
Yeah.
I know the environment. I see it every day. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, no bother, let's do an environment video. I landed down to see a good friend of mine, Caitlin, with a blue wig on, a blue bra, and she had no legs anymore, Ray.
She was a Finn.
She was finned out of us. Right?
Finned out of us, yeah.
She was nearly finished. And I said, oh, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So did it go well? Did you rescue the mermaid?
I rescued the mermaid, and also, Ray, it's not even about rescuing the mermaid. Like, I think you're missing the point, right? There's a couple of points.
Right.
Number one, like, at the bottom of it is rescuing the mermaid, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's bottom tier. Then middle tier is tell everyone a message about the environment because the mermaid was all wrapped up in plastic, right?
Oh, okay. I can see where it's going now, yeah.
And then the number one tier was get Kendy to look cool also while saying this message.
Right. And you nailed it.
I think that, personally, I nailed it, yes.
Good bad.
I also think everyone else that was at it nailed it, just for fear that they'll think Kendy's a wanker.
All right.
I'm playing a role here. Anyway, so Ray, you may add to the list, mate. You said it. Kendy, he a musician, he an actor, and now he's a fucking male model. Did you ever think a jaw like this, Ray? Look at me jaw. Have a look at that jaw. Yeah. That's a male model jaw now, Ray.
One thing that we slipped up on now, you're off saving mermaids, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, while you're doing that, obviously we're taking our eye off the ball and we're becoming much more lackadaisy on the podcast issuement.
Yes.
Now, something has happened as a result of that, by the looks of things.
Okay.
There has been a spurt of podcasts around Sligo starting.
Oh my Christ above, Ray. Everyone wants a piece of the feckin' cheese.
Oh, that, and don't get me wrong, I'm as disgusted as you are until I found out that you were participating.
Well,
some of these podcasts.
I didn't want to tell you, man, because it's like walking in, your missus getting barreled by some fella down the road.
Kendy, you didn't tell me. This is the thing. I'm only after bringing it up, and you hadn't told me.
Okay, and let me explain myself, Ray. I'm well in demand.
You've essentially done the dirt on me.
I'm in demand right now. Kendy has stuff around the place, and actually more so than that. Before we locked down again, it became very evident to a lot of people who had projects in Sligo that we may get this shit done now because we ain't going to have time to do this next week and we ain't going to be allowed to do this next week.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So all of a sudden, all of those projects came slapping down clean onto Kendy's lap.
Yeah, mermaids, fucking podcasts,
mermaids,
all
right?
sorts of stuff.
So I had mermaids coming into me first, right? I had Sean Purcell saying that I want to record monologues for Ocean FM radio. Kendy, you're the boy for us. I said, I'm fucking the boy for everything. Fair play to me. I'm some boy. So I had to get those done as well before we locked down, right? Yeah. I had Kieran's Quinn, Don Quinn-Leone, Luke Stevani, and Rory's Maitland. They have started up a new podcast, which is exactly what you're on about right now, called In the Lamplights, right?
They have.
And they said, obviously, of the top 100 musicians that are in Sligo right now, who are the hottest prospects of them all? Top of the list. How are you, Kendy? How are things?
Hard to believe that is actually something that is true at this point.
You better believe it, bitch.
Yeah. So you were called upon to participate.
This is how I live. Listen, do you want to hear the real story of how I was called upon to participate?
I would actually like to know why you didn't think that you could go get away with doing it without telling me.
Listen, I was hoping that you'd just see it one day and that it'd be a shock to your system. I need to look after Kendy better because I could lose him like...
Oh, so you're trying to make me jealous?
I was a little bit trying to make you jealous, yeah, and it seems to have worked. You look vexed.
Oh yeah, I'm not happy about it. Like, now I'll admit that Kieran Quinn did ring me before you come out there to get all the information on you, and he did, in fairness, kind of said to me, "Look, we can only have really one of you with the whole social distance and crack,
and we picked the best.
We're going to go with Kendy because." I actually think he was genuinely serious in the phone. Like, we're going to go with Kendy because we're probably going to get more crack out of him.
Well, wait till you hear. Wait till you hear, which is worse than that. Okay, so he rang you, and then you obviously told him, "Look, I know Kendy for the last 8 years or 9 years, but if you want to get early music stories of Kendy, because that's what the podcast is about. It's your music history, all that kind of crack. Yeah. If you want to get early music stories, you got to ring Keith Reynolds and Derek Gorham. They will tell you the crack with Kendy growing up. You know what I mean?
Guess
From
who
16
gave the
up.
numbers to Kieran
So
Quinn?
you gave their numbers to Quinn. He's some boy for the research, Quinn, isn't he? So you gave the number to Quinn, right? And he rang. Now, this is brilliant, right? You know the crack with me when I was giving out that I was never on the Kieran Quinn theme night thing. And that's how you know you've made it in Sligo town. Don Quinn-Leone rings you. How you going? I need you. I want you. Right? That's how you make. So Quinn rings Keeve and Darach, and both of them had the same reaction, right? They both thought, oh my God, he wants me. I've met us.
They thought they were going to be on the team night.
So he rings up Keeve Reynolds and he says, Keeve, how are you going? This because Keeve had done some Kieran Quinn stuff with me for the virtual team nights.
Yeah.
Playing guitar and stuff. I threw him a bone, Keeve. He'd be struggling as a musician, like to try and get work, you know?
Yeah.
Threw Keeve a wee Kendy bone, play some of the guitar on this. I'll put it mad in the background. Anyway, so Keeve gets a call then from Quinn, right? To say, how are you, Keeve? This is Kieran Quinn here. And Keeve says, he said, get the champagne, Cahill. I've met us. And he says, I just want to ask you a couple of questions about Kendy. And
Cahill is his lover, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Keeve lives with his lover, Cahill.
He does a lovely couple.
Just the way you slipped it in there, lovely. No more than what Keeve would do with Cahill. But,
come on. So Keeve says, I bet. And then Quinn says, I just want to ask a couple of questions about Kendy. And Keeve goes, oh okay. So then he rings Darach at the exact...
That's a real slap in the face.
I know, the exact same thing happens to Darach. Darach goes, oh, Jesus, okay, I'm not even from Sligo, I'm getting the call. I just want to ask a couple of questions about Kendy. Oh, okay. Both of them were heartbroken, Jesus Christ.
You can understand. They thought it was their big moment, and instead all they wanted was more information about you. Like you're special.
It's called In the Lamplight, Ray, the podcast. They should have called it in the Shadow. Because standing in the shadow of Kendy. Come on!
That's it.
Anyway, look, it was a pleasure to do. They have recorded 8 episodes for their season 1 in the Lamplights.
They're calling it a season.
Yeah, they have seasons and everything.
We never did anything like that. We just built it into it.
Everybody wants a slice of the feckin' cheese. They've saw what we've done and they're coming for us, Ray. They are coming hard now. So we'd want to up the game, boys. They have the cameras and everything, Ray. They have the cameras, they have the studio, they have the whole lot.
What about the betrayal then?
The what?
From Sensei.
The what?
Our very own Brendan Tyranny.
Listen to this, right? Too. Listen, I'm not even exaggerating this now when I tell you this, lads, ladies and gentlemen at home. Brendan Tyranny came to us and said, lads, I'd love to get on board with this podcast. He told us, for the rest of my life, lads, I will be in your service. And only ye. Right?
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. And then he fucks off last week and says, lads, I have my own podcast.
Do you know what he was doing?
He stuck up the fingers at us and he took a shite in my doorstep.
He spent 2 years watching how we were doing it, and then he went off and robbed all the ideas.
Absolutely. I mean, we've heard that story plenty of times before. He says, I'm going to integrate myself into the system of Kendy and Raybo, find out how they tick and how tick they are, and I'm going to...
Well, Kendy, all I'll say to you now, they might be coming for us.
Yeah.
What they don't expect is, now that you've made me jealous and I realise how much of a sting it hurts my heart. If you like, I had a hurt in my heart and I had a hurt in my soul. Sorry, that's a hit song there from Ballina.
Yeah.
I had a hurt in my heart when I found out that you might be going to another podcast. So now things are going to change around here.
Okay.
We're on lockdown now and we're back on the Zoom. So let's try and do one a week.
Pull up the bootstraps, Ray.
Let's pull up. We're going to do a run till Christmas now, and we'll make shite all these other podcasts.
And we're going to promote it and everything, aren't we?
We are even going to promote it. We're going to put a thing up.
Yeah. When do you think last time we promoted an episode was? About 2 years ago.
It's where we've made all the money and we're getting lazy.
It's where we made any money. Fucking Jesus Christ. It's where we had a massive listenership with the way we're acting. Like.
Oh no! But in fairness, I was looking at their numbers now. The regulars.
Yeah.
They've stuck with us.
Yeah.
Even though we got lazy as feck.
Yeah, we've got mad lazy. Actually, in fairness, I've kind of got a wee bit lazy. Obviously, you've alluded to it there. I've been doing some other shit along the way. But that's probably not an excuse, Ray, because you're working for the Department of Government every day and you're still here going, come on, we do a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I meant to say you're editing this one anyway, so that's the news.
Oh, for fuck. Okay, well then shut it now, man. I don't want to be edited any more than this. We're stopping now.
I've loads more things to talk about. I'll fly through them. I'll fly through them. Big day there recently.
Okay.
It was your birthday.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know what you were going with that.
It's your birthday.
I turned 29 on Friday just gone.
And come here. I heard you got an absolutely lovely present from a certain neighbour up the road.
I did. Is right. I got a t-shirt that says "Lovey" on it. How amazing is that?
Yeah, that was my little sister Joanne. Now she knew exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, it's fair play to Joanne. I'm going to wear that every single day. I'm not going to wash it. None of that stuff. So
show it to me there now.
Is
it under the tracksuit top? No, it's not. Okay. So a big shout out to Joanne. He's obviously not wearing it, and we didn't think to wear it on this. So that's That's gratitude for you.
Do you know what the best thing is, Ray? Because online shopping, right, is now the thing, we'd say. Not even just since the second lockdown, but anyway, everyone's online shopping now, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously, as you know, I've got big into the old golf. Fair play to me.
Stop.
Right?
I felt awful sorry about this.
I'm big into the golf now, as you know. So it actually made my birthday very easy for a lot of people. Because I'm only a beginner, I haven't got all the golfing accoutrements that makes you look like a motherfucking badass out in the golf course, Ray.
Yes.
In terms of the equipment and accoutrements you need to play golf. So my mammy, my family, and Nicola all said, this is easy. Just buy him all the golf stuff he needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get it all online. We'll order it. It's going to be here in 2 weeks when his birthday's on, which was absolutely factual. Landing at my door on my birthday was a golf cart that is unbelievable. A golf bag that is unbelievable.
Sorry, now.
Go on.
Did you say someone bought you a golf cart?
A golf cart? No, not the fucking one you drive around. What the fuck? You think it's parked up beside the Skoda? Jesus Christ.
No, you tell me.
I tip out your asses pointing this yoke and fucking Jesus Christ above. No, a golf cart, a little 3-wheel push golf cart, which is just tremendous. I got an unbelievable golf bag from Nicola, along with golf balls, golf towels, golf sticks, golf bricks, golf the whole feckin' lot, right?
And
all of the and
you got something from me.
I got a bottle of wine from you, lovey.
No, the card.
Huh? Oh, I got a golf card from Ray, which is obviously so. Obviously, they all went and bought me everything I need, and then Ray brought me a picture of something I need. You know.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful of him.
No. Well, I knew that all got you the things you needed, so I just wanted to.
So all of this happens, right? And I imagined it was tremendous, by the way. But I likened it to getting a bike on Christmas Day when it's fucking snowing and hailing and raining outside, and you can't go out and use your bike. You just drive it around the house.
Or, in my case, the time I got the Nintendo 64 at Christmas and the power went out in Mayo for 8 days. The only present I got from Santa Claus was a Nintendo 64 on GoldenEye. And that afternoon, the storm hit, and 8 days without power we were.
Jesus. That's so what I mean by saying that is that I got all of that on Friday, pre-ordered. The fucking country, they closed the golf courses on Wednesday. I can't use it. I walked it around the estate earlier on. I just walked the golf clubs around the estate. Just to get a feel for the whole lot, like.
Could you do any bit out in the green? You probably couldn't.
Out here? Oh, I'd be breaking neighbours' windows and everything.
Would you drive off down back to Roscommon and find yourself a nice open patch of land?
No.
And just put away?
Yeah, that could be the way. If only I could cross county borders, Ray. Jesus Christ above.
That's true, actually. So
if you're in Sligo and you have a field that you don't need and you don't mind Kendy walloping ball, right?
Yeah.
Give us a shout, please. I want to take the new stuff for a walk.
It's a black market golf course.
We could be onto something.
Right, okay, that's good. So you had a nice birthday. You're full of golf, and how does it feel? 29? You happy?
Well, I realise obviously I'm 1 year away from the big old trio.
Yeah, let's hope there'll be more than 2 people can celebrate.
I know. Imagine if it comes to Kendy's 30th and we're still in this shite. Huh? Go on anyway, Ray. Any more stuff before we finish up?
Right. Have you ever heard of 10-10-20?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You're
talking about the Farmers' National Day, which I did not understand at all.
Okay, that's new, right? I didn't know that. 10-10-20 is the 10th of October 2020 was indeed a day that was very close to a farmer's heart.
Yeah.
Now, for any of you at home, you might know what we're talking about here. And the reason we refer to the farmers is because 10-10-20 is a type of fertilizer.
Yeah, apparently so. I didn't know this either, by the way.
Yeah, fertilizer, you get anyone that has done a bit of farming at all, you'll see a bag of fertilizers goes out in the land, it has 10-10-20 written on it. And that's why the farmers were loving the 10th of October 2020, because they thought it was very ironic.
Yeah, isn't it ironic?
Yeah, a lot of farmers got married that day.
Mind the sheep.
You know Boobs?
I love them, yeah. I see loads of them all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I seen 10-10-20 on a certain set of cans, right?
Right.
And
how many cans did your one have?
Just 2. Now, that girl, she knows who she is. We're not going to give her name, but she has been a recent complainer to the podcast. We'll say no more, right? So we leave it at that.
Is she sending you pictures of the car? How come I'm not getting them?
She didn't. It was up on her Instagram. Right.
Okay.
And it was 10, 10, 20.
I want
right?
boobs as well. If any out there want to send boobs, send them to Kendy. Don't be sending them to Ray. He doesn't even like boobs. Go on.
She didn't send them to anyone. She put them out there, and it was 10, 10, 20. She had that written on it as the text,
Okay.
and then there was like a gif of money, right?
Okay.
But I looked at this and I thought, what in the name of God is? We'll call her
Sheila.
We'll call her Sheila, right? For the purpose of this podcast, we'll call her Sheila at the minute because we can't call her a real name, because she'd get vexed. But basically, anyway, I was looking at Sheila's Instagram,
Okay.
and I was looking at the 10, 10, 20, and she was wearing a very revealing top at the time. And and I says to Laura, what is going on? Why is Sheila so into fertilizer? Like, what's that about?
Right.
And Laura informed me that is not what she was referring to.
What?
Apparently, it is referring to a song. I think, is it called Rack City? Right.
Right.
I believe it's a song by a young gentleman by the name of Tiger.
Okay.
Or something along the line. Have you ever heard of this song?
No, but we could bang it out now if you want. Or
Well, there's a particular section of it where apparently he's talking about 10, 10, 20 as in dollar bills.
I think he's probably talking about fertilizer. You're not giving Tiger credit, man.
Don't you talk
Tiger's
about
old fella was a farmer in Manor Hamilton. That's Tiger O'Rourke. Ray. His old fella Jimmy O'Rourke, man, farmed land in Manor Hamilton for years and years. He
so you
knows.
think it's fertilizer?
Of course it is. You're not
Why
giving
would you be putting fertilizer on cans?
Sure, you can put that on cans. I'll enjoy it.
Right, okay, yeah. So
On the can is
have you got the
tremendous.
song there, have you?
Yeah, we'll play a little bit of it. I don't know. Do you know when he says 10, 10, 20?
I'll have to look it up now.
It doesn't matter. We're going to play the song until he says it, and I will cut it to just that small part of when he says 10,
that's
10,
really
20.
good, yeah. Okay, that's a really good plan. Jeez, we're very good at this podcast stuff.
Tell me that's not the voice of a farmer.
Rack City bitch. What's that on that beat? Rack City bitch, rack City bitch. 10, 10, 10, 20s on your titties, bitch.
Oh,
VIP,
there we
no
go.
guest list.
Yeah, 10, 10, 20 on your titties, bitch, is what he said.
That's what Tiger said.
Oh my, listen, Tiger's a farmer, lads.
That's it.
Tiger knows exactly what fertilizer is. He fertilized half of America, that fella, I'd say.
Yeah, I have no idea what it has to do with Rack City. Would it be a townland, perhaps, out in Manor Hamilton? That he's referring to?
Yeah, there's a wee village, one wee pub in it called Rack City, just outside Manor Hamilton.
Is Rack City maybe the name of the local co-op?
Yeah, it must be. That must be kind of gold. That must be the kind of gold out there. You're dead right.
Affectionately known as Rack City.
Rack City, they call it. Get whatever you need in there. Calf nuts or 10, 10, 20. Tiger's in there every day with the paddy cap on, lads.
Now that we've actually obviously made this lovely link, and that's great. What I didn't and wasn't aware of, and this is the next bit of information. Laura's mighty for these tidbits of information.
Okay.
She said that this gentleman, Tiger. Are you familiar with Tiger?
I know Tiger for one reason only.
Yeah.
Because he got accused.
He's a rapper.
He's a rapper. Bailing rapper. There we go. Even more of it again. 10, 10, 20. Rapping bails. Rapping bails abroad in Hollywood. A friend of mine went out to LA on holidays. And she went over and asked Tiger for a photograph when she saw him walking down the street. And didn't the paparazzi take photos of them together? And didn't they fucking start saying, in all the papers out there, in all the magazines, you know, all the big magazines they have, and on the internet articles, they said, who is Tiger's new Irish woman?
Stop the lights. I didn't bring this up to expect you to pull a story like this out.
I know. This is
your
mad.
Pocket.
And I'm sure she won't mind me saying this. But look, if she does, she does anyway. Her name is Shannon Hurd, and she's from Sligo here, and I went to college with her. She went out and said, look, that's your man Tiger. He's famous. I'm going to go over and ask him for a photo. So she went over chatting to him, and the paparazzi snapped the two of them together. And she was getting phone calls from the paparazzi in America saying, can you confirm the rumours that you and Tiger are together, all this kind of stuff.
Unbelievable.
And she had to come out and say, I'm just letting you know, I don't know anything about this fella. I just asked him for a photo, like. But it was all over the magazines and everything.
So she didn't go and update the Facebook status or anything?
No, they were saying, we heard he was farming down in your house. She said he wasn't. He was rapping.
Wait a minute. Huh? Is she not from out that direction, out Manor Hamilton?
Man, maybe maybe they are together. Oh, Jesus, Ray. We're uncovering something here, Ray. We may get the cameras out because we're like the new paparazzi around this place.
Shannon, can you get on to us there and let us know, is there any truth to the fact that Tyga was actually a farmer from Manorhamilton? That's where you actually know him from. And this whole crack over in LA, it was just the two of you meeting up and having the crack.
Now, you could be on. Also, Shannon, can you get on to us and let us know if it's okay to use your name and this story at the podcast, please?
Because I'm going to move on to the next bit now of Tyga. Tyga has an OnlyFans.
What? He's sending Mickey pics.
Now, when I was informed of this, right, I was unaware that men had OnlyFans.
Okay, so
I was very naive, Kendy. I thought it was only a girl thing.
Listen, I was naive up until about 2 weeks ago. Right. Until I was informed that there's actually a young fella in Sligo, I think, that has an OnlyFans.
And
stop it blew the head gasket clean out of my head. Honest to God.
It must give you hope.
Well, I mean, I've often thought about going down that route. But like I said to you before, Ray, I wouldn't. I know these boys are selling Mickey pics and stuff, and I've considered it. But I think there's niche markets out there, and I want to sell really tasteful close-up shots of my arse. I think there's a market for it.
I could just see you brought in Strandhill People's Market now with lovely little prints. You and Eddie Lee with two little stalls either side of each other. You're selling really tasteful close-ups of your bum, and Eddie trying to sell pictures of Sligo looking fantastic, and you just with the bare cheeks out.
Yeah, well, you tell me which one would you buy, Ray?
I'd be straight up to you looking for your arse.
But I'm talking about close-ups and everything, Ray. Really intricate photos. I think there's a market out there for it.
Well, that was just apparently Tyga's got a very big accoutrement. That was the thing there.
And is he selling accoutrement shots on his?
As in you can log in and you can. I'm like such an old lad now. You can log in and you can click yes and subscribe.
Yeah.
And you can then see his massive accoutrement.
No way.
Yeah, and he's taking shots abroad in Manorhamilton.
Outside the co-op.
He's taking shots abroad in Manorhamilton beside Rack City Co-op out Manorhamilton, and you can check him out.
That's no.
No, I don't think so. And then suppose the last thing we're on shout outs. We have to give a shout out to the boys over in London that got on to us about making a guest appearance on their podcast.
That's right.
And it is the Good Friday podcast, I believe it's called.
Yes.
And it was a lad by the name of Jenko.
A boy to Jenko. He's an Irish boy, isn't he?
He is an Irish lad, and he has, in an unlikely twist, developed some sort of a friendship with a gentleman from England.
Yeah, really the only reason I'm going to go on their podcast is to see how that works.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that kind of dynamic.
No, and I can understand how he can never come home, the shame of it.
Yeah, but, I really want to drill into him, you know?
Yeah, okay.
So, all right,
they're very good to us now. They said they're going to get us on the podcast. They said they're going to get us on the podcast at 9:00 on the 9th of November.
Yeah, and they asked us, lads, what are you doing there at 9:00 on the 9th of November? I was like, what? I have no fucking clue what I'm going to be doing at 9:00 on the 9th of November. I'm locked up, man.
Shout out to them anyway.
A shout out to them because we've gone international, Ray. We've made it. We're going to be on an international podcast.
We're going to be on a podcast in London.
In London, bruv, innit?
Have you any other news besides?
I think that's about it, Ray. I think I'm in this podcast. I have been both angry and laughing at the same measure. I think we've probably crossed all T's, dotted all I's, and we're ready to bang it out to the wonderful people. That
was episode 87, and we will try and have another one in a week's time or thereabouts.
Fingers across all you.
From me, Ray McAndrew, and from
me, Mark Kennedy. We will see you all again very soon.
Fair play to you.
Fair play to you. Good luck.
Good luck.